My name is Scott Pratt from Bilinguistics, and I have the privilege of walking you through the digital parent, teacher, and nurse speech referral forms tool. For any of you that have ever delayed an evaluation, spent time hand delivering forms to parents, teachers, or nurses, you know that the ability to securely collect information electronically is long overdue. So here's what we're going to do. You and I are going to walk through all of the forms. All you need is your computer, your phone, and about 15 to 17 minutes. And know that this is about twice as long as you'll ever need for the process in the future. Then stick around until the end because there are two more surprises. I'm going to show you where to find the very best referral forms if you still need paper copies, and how to easily calculate the percentage a child uses or hears English if they are bilingual. All right, let's jump in. For this tutorial, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk through the forms, and I want you to open up the form and at the same time walk through it with me, filling in the information, filling in email addresses, and we're actually going to send you forms like you would to parents and nurses and teachers so that you know what they're receiving and you can confidently see how cleanly and easily they're going to be able to provide you with information. At any point, pause this video as I'm completing the steps, complete them on your side, and then begin again. When you open up the form, you'll see that we have parent questionnaires, teacher questionnaires, and health questionnaires. The parent and the teacher questionnaires will be able to be sent to multiple teachers and multiple parents. And the health questionnaire typically goes to one person. Let's start with the health questionnaire. Click on Gather Health Information. Here we can select the information we need: vision, hearing, and also other health information. Click Continue, and then enter a nurse. Let's just use Nancy Nurse, and then make up an email address for the email block. Then hit Continue. You can preview the email that the nurse will be receiving, and then choose to send the form. You can see that the form includes the student name and the nurse name. Then hit Send. Additionally, if the people you interact with prefer to use their phone, you can copy the link and text it to them. I want you to see what the form looks like, so that's what we're going to do for this demo. Go ahead and copy the link, paste it in a browser, and come out and see the form. You see that the healthcare professional will put in the date, the type of equipment they used for vision, who it was that conducted the screening, their title, and the results. This is exactly the information that we need to enter into our report. Same with hearing. Go ahead and put in a date, the type of screening you did, the name of the person who did the screening, their position, and the results. So oftentimes we need other information. This is really the case when we're working with life skills or students who have multiple disabilities. In these cases, we have to indicate if there's other issues that are going on or if they have medications that they're using, things like that that might be relevant to the evaluation that we're doing. Now, if you go back to your forms and you hit refresh, you'll see that the form has been completed. And if you view the responses, you see everything that was given, and you can simply print or copy this and put it in your report. Okay, on to teachers. So I want to pause here for a second and tell you about these teacher forms. We took intake forms from 54 school districts, plus ones that people shared through our community through the speech therapy blog. We pulled out the best of questions, the most relevant questions, and we reordered them into these really, really cool parent-teacher health forms. So you can select all, and you will just get all of those questions. There are situations like with early intervention, or maybe you're working in a clinic, or maybe you're in a life skills classroom where you need specific questions excluded. You can go ahead and choose your own. But other than these other situations, just click Select All. Hit Continue, and it's time to add the recipients. So for the first teacher, let's call her Tina Teacher. Enter a fake email address and select her title. In middle schools and bilingual campuses, often students have more than one teacher. So let's add a second. We'll call him Timothy Teacher, add an email address and his title. Then select Continue. Here you'll see all the questions. You can preview the form. That's going to go to the teacher. And click Send Form, which will send this on its way. In this case, we're going to go and fill out these forms quickly so that you see exactly what the teachers have. Also, if you prefer to text them, this is how you do it. So you can see that the questions are in exactly the way that we need the information to enter into the report. You'll also see that there's not any unneeded questions that aren't related to communication. So take a minute and go through and answer these questions about your student. Pause for a second here because I'm going to show you something magical at the end of this video. When we're dealing with bilingual children and trying to identify how much English they hear and how much English they use, starting with the parent questionnaire, we're going to use these sliders and just determine whether they are speaking English in the classroom and with other students, and whether they're hearing English in the classrooms and with other students. So go ahead and indicate with these sliders an imaginary number for a bilingual child. We're going to see this again on the parent questionnaires and then mash them all together. Okay, so we're done. Hit submit. If you hit update, you'll see that it's completed, and if you click to view, you'll see that all the responses you gave are there with the questions that you asked. You can hit print to enter them into your report or hit copy. Okay, so now onto the second teacher. We're not actually going to do this one, but I want you to see how beautifully this is laid out on a phone. So go to Timothy Teacher, click copy link, and email it to yourself or open it on your device and just have a look to see what it looks like. Then we'll move on to the parents. So just like with the teacher form, you can either choose your specific questions or select all. Hit continue and then add the recipients. For recipient 1, let's add dad. And for recipient 2, let's call that mom. So on the questionnaire, we see the questions, we can preview the form and how that's going, and then we can also preview the email that's going to be sent home. You can preview the form. You can switch this form into any of 16 languages and preview it that way. Then check out the email that's being sent and send it. If you don't know which language is spoken at home, just send it in English because parents on the other side also have that opportunity. For example, let's have a look at the parent form here. And just for fun, let's pick Farsi. See that the whole form is translated into Farsi. When you receive the response back, you'll see the question that was asked in the language Farsi, the question as it exists in English, their exact response, and a general translation of the response for you to share with a language speaker. Okay, so for mom, we're going to go and copy the link, paste it into a browser, into your phone, and ask you the questions because I want to show you how to even make this process faster. For each of these forms, we have a button that says View All Questions. If you preferred not to be walked through these, you can click View All Questions, and it displays the entire form in a single window. Go ahead and answer the questions. Specific to the parent form, we need to know what the family does together. We also need to know if the child lives somewhere else or is taken care of from someone else. This is incredibly important with the bilingual children because while the parents might be English speaking, maybe the grandparents or other family members are not. Then, just like the teacher form, you've got these sliders to indicate how much English is used at home and at night and on the weekends and how much is heard. And then the last part of this form is my favorite part because so often these forms are made by professionals who are thinking in professional language. But we've created these forms and field tested them on parents. So there's questions like, do you have concerns about how your child communicates? Do you understand your child? Do they have difficulty understanding others? Do they repeat sounds or words? You can see how these are specific to our communication disorders. At any point through these forms, if a parent says that they're not concerned, they just check no and that's fine. If they say yes, it asks more questions or gives them a box to further explain. Okay, that's it. Now heading back to your forms dashboard for this specific child, you can see what's been completed and what hasn't to possibly reach back out to a parent or a teacher that still needs to provide information. And then back on the main forms dashboard, you can access all the children that you've seen and seen what's in progress, what's been completed, and how many total forms you've sent. So that's it. Pretty amazing, right? Well, there's 2 more things I need to show you because there's additional tools that work in concert with these forms. So the first is the referral docs. So if you go back to the Evalubox homepage, you'll see under resource that there's referral docs. What these are paper versions of all the forms that we just walked through in case this is the way that you still need to gather this information. In addition to this, we have all the forms that are needed for evaluation, such as student intake, language proficiency, observation forms, and then all of the parent questionnaires in the different languages that we have translated. Now, remember those sliders that you filled out in the parent forms and the teacher forms? How do we combine them together to get overall language use and exposure for a child? On those forms, if you remember, teacher said it's 100% English. Mom and dad said that he hears 30% of English at home on the weekends and that he uses English 40% of the time, maybe with siblings, right? So back on the dashboard, click on language proficiency and you'll see these sliders. Teacher says it's 100% English. Parent said it's 100% Farsi with a little bit of spoken English on the weekends. And it's 100% Farsi with maybe a little bit of English heard on the weekends. Click View Report, and you have this beautiful report citing the current research, what the outcome was based on percentage, and this nice table, also broken down by what's spoken and what they hear, both by the teacher and by the parent. Thank you for your time today. We hope that this tool adds time back to your day tenfold for all the interactions you have in the future.